Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. It is Friday, and I'm Kayleigh McEnany here with my co-host, Emily Compagno. Also joining us, Fox News anchor Julie Banderas, Fox and Friends weekend co-host Rachel Campos Duffy, and attorney and former NYPD inspector Paul Morrow. We begin with new polling and growing concerns surrounding the moral principles central to the Biden White House. I wasn't aware that they had any. According to a new Gallup poll, 55% of Americans have an overall negative view of the Biden administration's ethics. 37% call the ethical standards of the administration's top officials poor. I wonder why. Well, just this week, one of Hunter Biden's former business partners, Devon Archer, told lawmakers all about Joe Biden's knowledge of his son's business dealings, revealing that Hunter had put then Vice President Joe Biden on speakerphone at least 20 times while speaking with business associates. Archer, he also detailed Joe Biden's role in selling the Biden brand. And after months of outright ignoring the existence of his seventh grandchild, Navy Roberts, President Biden finally acknowledged her. But this only came after backlash in the press. You remember that New York Times article? It came shortly after that. And after reportedly getting the green light from Hunter to do so. But it seems the president wants to push the family drama aside and focus on his re-election campaign. And he's doing that now with an assist from Dark Brandon. Remember him? His campaign website is offering Dark Brandon t-shirts and baseball caps as a way to raise campaign funds and gain traction with voters.
I like my coffee dark.
Now, I am here to officially announce we are replacing these Outnumbered mugs with Dark Brandon mugs. They will have our names on them. I have already purchased mine. Emily Compagno, I got yours as well. Others on the way. But real concerns in Biden land. Emily, look at this. Politico. Because small donors are a proxy for enthusiasm, if people aren't concerned about the drop-off in contributions, this is to the Biden campaign, then they just aren't paying attention or whistling past the graveyard. So apparently the Dark Brandon mugs aren't working. They go on to say this. This is a quote. The impact is from top to bottom. You can see it in the Act Blue number. Act Blue is the Democrat fundraising platform, and they saw a drop-off in $30 million in small donor donations. You can see it from the DNC down through every group. There has to be a quick examination among Democrats about what is creating this enthusiasm gap. Of course, the small dollar donations, an indication of your base. If people aren't donating, not giving, they may not show up at the polls.
I will only drink out of the mug, Kayleigh, if it's the kind where when you put in hot water, it changes the outside, so the laser beams go in and out, or maybe he falls off the bike, right? We've got to get a bit of animation in there. That's what's so concerning for the Democrat Party, and they should take heed. They should also take note, in line of that, that the #1 greatest online fundraising day was the day that Joe Biden announced his candidacy to rerun this year. And even that paled in comparison to his announcement before that in the prior years. So I think that's such an indicator, because generally speaking, you usually have a groundswell of support. You usually collect and collate support as you continue moving down your campaign trail. Normally someone would be on one. Obviously he hasn't quite really. And especially in contrast to the way that the party has made such a concerted effort to highlight what's going on with the Republican candidates, including President Trump and his indictments. So it's telling that it seems like no one's actually rallying. And you contrast that again with the absolute tremendous tidal wave of support for the GOP candidates. Where are people spending their money? And why aren't members of the Democratic Party spending their money for him? And therefore, are they reserving it? Are they waiting for a Gavin Newsom to come out? Are they waiting for him to step aside? Who are they waiting for? Because the bottom line is, we know that they are massively dissatisfied with this president. And the question remains, who are they going to turn out for? Because if they have to harness enthusiasm, this president won't be that.
Yeah, Money Talks, another entity that talks is CNN. They talk a lot. They love to say Trump, Trump, Trump in chorus, Rachel. But they took a break to freak out and have a little conniption over Joe Biden and his weaknesses. Watch Gloria Borger.
The question is, how solid a candidate is Joe Biden?
That's the problem. That's exactly the problem.
And
what is exactly the problem?
That we don't know how solid a candidate Joe Biden is.
We know he's not a solid candidate.
Exactly.
He is struggling. I mean,
within his own party.
It is hard to watch.
They're worried.
Yeah, you know, by the way, the mug, the Dark Brandon, it's so funny. They're trying to present, you see the weakness here with even his biggest supporters in the mainstream media freaking out. But this mug is like about trying to present him as tough and badass when we know he probably wears diapers and he falls off of his bike. So it's not working, and it's a problem. And you saw in that the statement that you read to Emily, it said, we need to figure out what this is. Well, what do you think it is? I mean, obviously, this is a man who is, his economy is in trouble. He is censoring all of his, anyone who contradicts him in his narrative online. He's trying to imprison his own opponent. This is a sign of weakness, and you're right. Who is going to step up? Will it be Gavin Newsom, or will we get a surprise in Michelle Obama?
Yeah, well, we know he wears that CPAP mask. We don't know much else, but we've seen the straps. But I will say this, Julie, you mentioned the bike, Rachel.
Yeah.
This week, for a campaign that has huge warning signs, cracks. If you look at the numbers among the base, you look at the numbers with black voters, with young voters, with Hispanic voters, there are visible warning signs. But Julie, what is he doing? He's on a beach. He's on a bike. He's on a 10-day vacation in Delaware. This is what he's doing. If I'm a Democrat Party member, I'm saying, let's bring in Gavin Newsom, because this guy doesn't seem to care.
If I'm a Democratic Party member, I'm embarrassed, because he's actually doing his Democratic Party a disservice. Dark branded is not funny. I mean, that's actually a really dark joke at the expense of the American public. Like, I don't think it's funny. And Brandon is not a compliment. So that's all he's got to go on, is to take the worst insult that he's adopted through his presidency and make something of it. And while the red beaming eyes, Emily, I do agree, would be very cool, I also think it's really uncool the fact that, all of this news about Hunter Biden this week and Joe Biden was buried by the mainstream media because of the indictments, when, our main focus should be our president and the dark days of summer. That's what his mug should say.
That's exactly right. In the Wall Street Journal editorial board, Paul, they say today the legal case will play out in the coming months. This is about Donald Trump. But the political point to keep in mind is that it is exactly where Democrats want voters to focus on Mr. Trump all day, every day. I found that analysis interesting because it made me think of April, when Biden announced his campaign. Right. There is this hidden line. This is a flashback to Politico, and this is the day after Biden's launch. Biden's campaign launch is immediately overshadowed by other events, and his team loves it. The president wants, to a degree, to be the political background noise. That's the strategy. Focus on Trump. Let me remain in the background.
So let's get this straight. Essentially, the strategy is, I want to be the most powerful man in the world in the background. That's not exactly what we want from our leader, especially now when we have so many challenges internationally. We're going to talk about China later. That's something that we have to confront, which he just seems very ill-equipped to do. But let's be frank, this mug of his should have been a sippy cup. Because the truth of the matter is, no matter how many memes you have, no matter how you try to dress this up, right? This is a little bit like watching your grandfather trying to dance to Metallica at a wedding. It's embarrassing, and you cannot generate enough memes to create the kind of confidence you need. And the reason he's not raising the money is because they know that. They're sitting back and they're saying what all of us have been saying, which is, I don't think he's going to make it to the finish line. He may not make it to the end of this term. So as a result, I'm not throwing good money after bad. I'm going to hold back my finance until I see who it's going to go to.
Well, I am all for the red lasers, but we might have to tie Todd Pyro to the seat because his dance moves may be way out of control. Should we get the red lasers? But we will work on it, guys.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.